Hello drama lovers. Welcome back to my channel. Hot news alert. If I told you that there are moments between Dylan, Wang and Boo that the cameras never wanted us to see. Faces screaming in fear, raw, unguarded moments that fans can't stop replaying in their minds, convinced that this isn't just acting. Tonight we're diving into the unseen secret side of Wang Duke's love story that has everyone screaming, crying and asking one question. Is this their hidden love story finally bursting into flames? When it comes to Dylan, Wang and Boo, the chemistry is undeniable. We've seen them on screen, playful, teasing, and completely immersed in each other's presence. But what fans are uncovering now goes far beyond the script of Only for Love. In a never officially aired behind-the-scenes clip, Dylan was caught brushing Lewis's hair away from her face, his expression tender and almost protective. It wasn't just a casual gesture. His hand lingered, his eyes searched hers as if he wanted to memorize every detail of her face. Fans who stumbled upon this clip said it felt almost too private, like we were witnessing a moment we weren't meant to see. And he didn't stop there. In another leaked clip, Boo was laughing so hard she nearly fell off her chair. Dylan, didn't he just laugh along with her? He instinctively reached out, grabbing her hand to steady her, looking at her with a rare, gentle smile he usually keeps hidden from the public. That moment sent fans into a frenzy. You can't fake care like that. One comment read, "That's not acting, that's love." What makes these moments even more shocking is how natural they were. No director yelling cut, no crew egging them on. Just Dylan and Boo existing in their own little world, completely unaware of how much their silent gestures stirred up the rest of us. Fans call this the true Wangu timeline, piecing together every glance, every touch, every genuine smile to paint a picture of a love story unfolding right before our eyes. And if you think this is just fans overanalyzing, wait until you hear what happened next. Because what we're about to discuss is the moment that completely changed how people view Dylan, Wang and Boo. That moment happened when no one thought the cameras were rolling. It was during a break between scenes. The set was quiet. The crew was busy adjusting lights. Someone accidentally captured footage of Dylan and Boo sitting side by side in a corner of the set, talking softly. At first, it looked like two co-stars having a casual chat, but then Dylan leaned in closer, whispering something that made Boo blush so much she had to cover her face with her hands. And then he laughed. A warm, deep laugh you only hear when someone is completely at ease. Fans who analyzed the audio claim they heard Dylan say something like, "You look so pretty when you smile like that." Whether Lewis's reaction matched what he said or not, there's no denying it. She looked genuinely happy, almost like a girl caught falling in love. That short clip spread like wildfire across fandom forums. Comments flooded in. "He's gone. He's really gone for her. This isn't acting. This is Dylan Wang being his true self. That's fake, they both deserve an Oscar." But perhaps the most telling detail came later. After the clip went viral, Dylan himself liked a fan's post that said, "No one makes Boo laugh like Dylan does." Fans took it as a silent confirmation, a subtle nod from Dylan that we're not just imagining things. This new wave of speculation has sent fans of the pair into a louder frenzy than ever. Hashtags like Wang Girl and Dylan Boo moments have trended multiple times, with fans begging studios and management to let them go public with whatever's going on between them. Yet, despite the buzz, Dylan and Boo remain calm. They don't deny anything. They don't distance themselves. In fact, some say they've been even more relaxed around each other lately, which only adds fuel to the fire. One of the most heartbreaking revelations came from a crew member, who anonymously shared their experience working with Dylan and Boo. According to them, Dylan often brought snacks for Boo during long filming days, quietly leaving them by her chair without saying a word. Boo, in return, would wait for Dylan before leaving the set, even when her scenes were done. It's like they had their own little routine. The crew member said you could feel how much they cared for each other beyond work. They had a rhythm that just clicked. Even fans noticed how Dylan's body language changes around Boo. He stands a little closer, speaks a little softer, and seems to forget the cameras exist whenever she's near. The most emotional moment to date was at the film's wrap party when Dylan hugged Boo just a little longer than everyone else. It wasn't a typical congratulatory hug. It was the kind of hug that said, "Thank you. I'll miss you. And maybe don't forget me." The video of that hug has been replayed millions of times by fans, who say it feels like the real ending to a love story we've all been witnessing. These moments don't stop at behind-the-scenes clips or heartfelt hugs. Fans have also noticed subtler details, like how Dylan and Boo always seem to find ways to be near each other, even at crowded events. In a recent joint interview, when asked about their relationship, Boo giggled and glanced at Dylan, while he just smiled faintly and deftly changed the subject. Their chemistry isn't just on display in front of the cameras but in everyday moments, like when they were spotted together at a small cafe. No cameras, no script, just two people sharing a quiet moment. Witnesses said they weren't trying to draw attention, but the way they looked at each other, the way they laughed, felt like the world only existed for the two of them. This has fans wondering, are Dylan and Boo trying to keep something bigger under wraps, or are they simply two close friends with an extraordinary bond? Whatever it is, the sincerity in their actions has fans unable to stop dreaming of a happily ever after. What makes all of this so powerful? Is it just the romance? It's the way Dylan, Wang, and Boo seem to bring out the most tender, joyful versions of each other. It's the way they light up when they're together, the way their laughter fills the space, the way their hands somehow always find a reason to touch, even when they don't need to. Whether they choose to go public or not, one thing is clear: their connection is real. And sometimes the most beautiful love stories are the ones that unfold quietly. In the moments between takes, in the smiles no one was meant to catch, in the small gestures that say more than words ever could. For fans, these moments are everything. They're proof that the bond we feel watching them isn't just fantasy. It's real, it's tangible, and it's happening right in front of us. And maybe that's why we can't look away. Because deep down, we all hope that Dylan, Wang, and Boo are living a love story that doesn't just exist in fiction but in real life, two hearts beating as one. If these secret Vong Duklok moments have broken your heart like they did mine, hit that like button, share this with your fellow fans of the pair, and let me know in the comments. Do you think Dylan and Boo are secretly dating? Or are we just swooning over their chemistry? Let's discuss.